Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Slough joint manager Jon Underwood. How are you, Jon?
Not bad, thanks, John.
Yeah, reflecting on yesterday's sobering defeat away at Biggleswade, it's a tough night, yeah?
Yeah, hugely disappointing last night. Obviously, we had a frustrating opening day where we felt we should have got all 3 points. But yeah, last night was a bit of a disaster all round, to be honest.
Yeah, so you went in with a few changes to the team. Sean Fraser on the bench, obviously centre-backs missing some players, so Adam Martin in there, Warren Harris starting in a different slight formation, and then obviously the front rotation with Scott Harris coming back into the team.
Yeah, we changed it up a bit. Before we went into Saturday's game, we had some tough decisions to make, as everyone knows. And we actually made a call before Saturday that we would actually use the squad a little bit over the two games because, as I said, there were certain choices. For example, right back Sean and Callum, who over pre-season, it was a coin toss really, coin toss really as to who was selected. And we went with Sean Saturday, but with the agreement that Callum would play this one. And they'd sort of continue to battle it out for that shirt. And up front, 3 into 2, really 3 lads into 2 positions, and we always knew we'd rotate again for Tuesday. Obviously, we had the injuries to Jake and Craig Scott. Billy wasn't quite fit; he sat on the bench, but would have really been for an emergency. We didn't want to risk him, so Adam Martin played centre half.
Was it a risk putting Warren in from the start?
Not really. I think Warren came on and looked bright on Saturday. We are being a bit careful with him, but we just felt he could do a good job for us in there last night. We actually set up slightly differently with. We knew they'd be 4-3-3, which they were, so we wanted to match their 3 up in midfield, and we did that with Searsey, Clergy, and Nath. And then we wanted Warren to play a bit of a freer role and off the front too.
It started off brightly. First 10 minutes looked good.
Yeah, really well. In fact, I spoke to their manager, or their standing manager, Lee Allenson, last night, and he said first 20 minutes we really struggled to get hold of your lad in there. Obviously Warren, they were trying to adjust their shape to stop him getting on the ball, and he was causing them a lot of problems. We didn't get the goal. But I think first 20 minutes we were delighted with the overall play, but then found ourselves 2-0 down.
Yeah, 2 soft goals to give away. Disappointed with the defending?
Yeah, shocking defending really. Both individual errors. One in the left back position from Ryan Parsons, and then Callum at right back. Both really, they didn't have to work hard for either of those goals. We were working hard to try and find a breakthrough, and then we find ourselves 2 down. And we were. I think it shocked the team a little bit, to be honest, because I think everyone was quite pleased with the opening. As I said, we were causing them problems. And you just can't legislate for those sorts of mistakes.
No, and then Biggleswade obviously grew more and more into the game. Did you think at 2-0 down that was your chance gone? They were hitting the post, there was plenty of chances. Yeah, they were quite dominant.
As much as I felt unlucky to be 2 down after 20 minutes, the next kind of 15 minutes we got lucky. They hit the inside of the post. Scotty in goal made a couple of really good saves. And we were actually pleased to get in at 2-0. We're very aware that 2-0 can be a difficult scoreline. We talked at half-time about going out really positive. If we got the next goal, that the game changes. And what happened in the first 6 minutes of the second half was never really seen anything like it.
No, it unfortunately brought back some memories of some of those lesser performances of last season where you came out of the blocks and suddenly after half-time you occasionally fell behind to a quick goal or a couple of quick goals in succession, and you're punished again.
Yeah, I mean the team. We left the changing room really positive. Everyone's saying the right things, and then you come out and again just really, really rank bad defending. I think 2 of the 3 goals were lads slipping over.
Yeah. I saw the conditions were great. The pitch was really good. It was slightly wet, but there was a lot of boys ending up on their bums, left, right, and centre. The
pitch is beautiful, and it had been a bit of rain. It was a little bit slick. It was just how you wanted it to be. We asked our lads. They said they had the right footwear, but we seem to have. I think Ryan Parsons slipped for the 3rd. I think either Adam or Guy slipped on one of them, and then Scotty and goal slipped on the 5th goal. So it was, if we weren't managers of that side, it would have, you'd almost find it comical. Some of the defending, it was the sort of thing you just don't expect to see. And yeah, so the game's done then, and I guess you could say to our credit we kept going, but at 5-0 they probably took their foot off the gas. So.
At least you scored a goal, first goal of the season.
Good goal from Callum. It was important to kind of break our duck and get a goal, but very very disappointing all round. Really.
And what about the discipline? A few players booked. There was some chat to the referee. Were you happy overall with how the team conducted themselves?
We had a few bookings for tackles, which is part of the game. That happens. One for dissent, which was Nathan. That's something we're really cracking down on this year. And players are getting fined if they get booked for dissent, and that was our first one. A lot of that comes from frustration. And Eddie showed that with his frustration before half time.
Yeah, he went off injured. What's the latest situation there?
He tightened up in his hamstring. Seems to be a bit of an ongoing issue with Ed. He was fine Saturday. Said he was fine last night, and then he gets his hamstring tightened. So, it's something we have to look at and see what we can do to prevent that happening.
I also saw on Twitter this morning that he seemed to be apologising for something that he either said or did. Could you shed any more light on that?
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it, but Eddie put that out there this morning. He answered back to the bench on his booking, and in a way that he shouldn't have done. And we've dealt with that. He will get a punishment for that, and he was very apologetic after the game, and obviously did what he did on Twitter this morning. It wasn't acceptable from a senior player. We know it was frustration. We were all frustrated, but he knows he shouldn't have done what he did, and it's been dealt with, and we'll move on.
All credit to Biggleswade. They came out, they played a good brand of football, and they were comprehensive winners. Do you see them going well this season?
Yeah, I think they're a good side. I think we knew at the start of the season, we know them very well. We knew they'd be strong this year. They actually signed a lot of good players towards the end of last season, but it didn't quite click and gel for them. They stayed away from relegation, but they certainly didn't have the end of the season they would have expected with some of the names they got in there. But they're looking good now. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. They've had a really good start, and they fully deserve their win. I think the disappointment for me is we made it easy for them. We gave them goals. We gifted them goals, and they didn't have to work hard to score against us. But they're a good side. I think they'll be pushing playoffs this year.
So on a disappointing evening, there has to be some positives. What positives did you take away from that game and that performance?
Yeah, there were. I mean, as you know, we've got a number of players coming back from long-term injuries, and Searsy in midfield has just completed 2 90s, Saturday, Tuesday, 2 90 minutes, and which he hadn't done in pre-season. We've built him up to the first game. He's just got better and better. I thought he was outstanding last night. Seems crazy to say that when you've lost 5-1, but I thought he was the best midfielder on the pitch last night. I thought he played ever so well. His fitness is there. He wins the ball back for us. He keeps the ball. He's passing his energy. He had a really good game. I thought Nathan alongside him did well as well.
Mentioned to Warren as well.
Yeah, Warren. I mean, we only took Warren off as a precaution. We took him off 10 minutes in the second half when we were 5 down. We took the decision at that point. Clearly, we weren't going to get back in the game. We didn't want to make the night any worse. And when you're coming back from a long-term injury and you try and do a 90, sometimes you can get a little strain or something like that. And we were happy what we'd seen from Warren, and we protected him a little bit. And he'll start again Saturday. So we wanted to do that, make sure he wasn't suffering. These next few days means he can train tomorrow night, and he'll go again Saturday. Talking
of training tomorrow night, is there going to be some defensive practice in there?
Well, it's funny. We said this, me and Bakes today. Like, if you analyse the 5 goals last night, there is absolutely nothing we can do in training tomorrow night to put that right. It's individual errors. If it was something to do with our defensive shape, organisation, anything like that, we'd get out there and work on it. But you can't legislate for the type of mistakes we made. All you can do is point them out to those players. I mean, I mentioned Ryan Parsons. I know he won't mind me saying he made a couple of mistakes for goals last night. He was one of our most consistent players last year. We named him as our joint player of the year, myself and Bakes. So we think so highly of him. He just had a really disappointing night, and he hasn't all of a sudden become a poor player. Fully expect him to bounce back at the weekend. So yeah, there's only so much you can do. There's no point in us going to training tomorrow and being miserable and moping around. And we have to be positive. We're 2 games into the season. I'm actually really looking forward to Saturday and a chance to put it right. And we need to make sure the players are bang up for Saturday too. I'm sure they will be.
And talking of players, is there any kind of change in personnel? Is there any injuries or new additions to the squad?
I mean, the only injury from last night, obviously, Eddie's hamstring. We'll have to see how that is. Good news is Gary McDonald will be back for the weekend. I think he's back today from holiday, so he'll train tomorrow. And he'll make a big difference. Adam filled in for us last night. It's not his favoured position. He did a job for us. But having an experienced leader at centre half on Saturday, I'm sure, will make a positive difference on us. So that's a big plus. We, all being well, will have a new face with us. He's certainly training with us tomorrow. I don't want to go into much more detail because he's currently with another club. They've agreed to let the transfer go through. He's agreed to join, so it's the formalities of getting the form done. He is an ex Slough player. He's somebody who was at the club before myself and Bakes, so I think he'll give us something different. He's an attacking player, and but as I say, I can't really say any more than that. People will have to kind of have a bit of a guess, which I'm sure a few people will.
I'm sure the jungle drums will be going.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. But yeah, I think Bakes will do an interview Thursday night, Friday morning. We'll get that announced on Friday. But obviously, until it happens, I don't want to look stupid and then something go wrong. So, but no, it'll be a positive addition to the squad.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, giving us once again your thoughts on what was a difficult night for Slough and your plans for the rest of the week. Look forward to catching you up at the weekend and hopefully Slough adding to their 1 point that they've gained so far this season.
Let's hope so. Thanks, John.
Cheers.